We've officially reached Game 38, the regular season finale of Michigan Monarchs baseball. Happy Saturday, everyone. How's it going? To my right here in the booth is Alex Maxwell. I'm Jake Gorwitz. What a season it has been for the Narcs, and the best thing about it, we've got extra ball next week. At the moment, no worries at all for the Monarchs. North Division has been locked up since Wednesday. Home field advantage throughout the entire GLSCL playoffs secured last night. Alex, last tune-up before the postseason. Hard to believe we're here. It's been an absolute treat so far.
Yes, Jake, it sure has been. The Monarchs have been the best team in the GLSCL this season and the most entertaining, whether that be on the field or off the field. The hitting, the pitching, base running, the mojo, the vibes, the coaching, everything has been stellar. So this team has championship caliber written all over it. Like you said, Jake, it's been a treat all season to call and watch games.
The potential is certainly coming out the wazoo for the Monarchs. It'll be interesting to see what they can do with that potential come next week. Last game of the year, regular season at least. It's crazy that we've reached this point. Let's take a couple pages back in the season, a season in review, if you will. Let's begin with the mainstays of the lineup. Reese Longstaff, Kevin Corti, Nick Powers really locking it down from the pitching staff.
Most definitely. Reese Longstaff has been one of the better players in the entire league. Definitely a guy that people are going to know about now, coming all the way from Australia. When we first saw that, we didn't really believe it. It said Melbourne, Australia on the roster. We didn't really know what to think. But now we know that he's one of the better players on this entire team and league. And the pitching has been stellar as well. You mentioned Nick Powers from Michigan State, one of the better pitchers in the entire league with a sub-1 ERA, many innings. Kevin Corti's been solid as well. But I know there's three guys there, but you could mention literally the entire roster.
There's so many constants and so many guys that you can rely on throughout the Monarchs roster. And talking about guys that have heated up, Seth Gurgley, we always point back to that game that he had family in attendance, that 3-run moonshot to deep right field. Seth Gurgley has really been putting on a show as of late.
Most definitely. I mean, the complete dynamics of the season changed for Seth. He was hitting about 230, 240 before that big shot, and then after then he's been hitting well over 300, and that's really boosted his confidence. And you really see how the experience is paying off, right? He's the oldest player on this roster. He's 22 years of age, and his fielding, his base running, his at-bats, really, he's been the leader of this team. If I had to choose one, he's the guy that really holds everything together.
Alex, we all know how important the arms are coming into the playoffs. It takes a ton of strategy from the coaching staff, guys pitching on short rest perhaps, getting geared up for the postseason. Discussing arms that have emerged the past couple series. Hayden Yatzak, Kane Elmy that'll start tonight's game, and Carson Clark, who we saw last night. He had some scouts looking at him.
Definitely. He had the Marshall scout really taking a glance at him. But Hayden Yatzak coming from Saginaw Valley, we originally saw him as a pitcher. That's what we were going to see him as. And then we saw him hit a home run. Then we saw him hit a triple. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's hitting 320.
And then we saw him strike out 6 consecutive batters back on the mound.
So Hayden Yatzak, one of the rare guys that can do it both ways in the college game. Kane Elmy's been solid. We're going to see him tonight. And Carson Clark has been excellent. We saw him last night. But those are three guys. We could really name a lot of guys. The Michigan guys, the trio of Michigan guys that we saw yesterday. And Nick Powers, like you said. But, yeah, these guys have really emerged when they needed to, and that's going to roll into the playoffs nice and dandy.
The depth will certainly be a key factor going forward. I said in the open, the Monarchs have secured home field advantage not only for the first round against Lima, but potentially more if this team reaches the championship round. It only takes 4 wins to bring the trophy back home to Adrian. Luckily for the Monarchs, 4 games at home. And even more lucky for this team, actually, Alex, it hasn't taken any luck, pure skill. 14-3 record at home, 10 of 11 as of late coming into tonight.
Defend the kingdom, Jake. This is the kingdom. Monarchs reign, and you don't come to Siena Heights with an easy test. And the boys have made sure of that. The coaches have made sure of that. And this is a really special field to the guys because it's been the mojo. It's been the go-to. They've been comfortable here.
An opportunity tonight to increase that home record to 15-3 and make it 11 out of 12 at home. going back a few weeks. Let's have some fun tonight, Alex. Last game of the regular season. I know the coaches will be getting creative. You take a look at the lineup, and they're certainly having some fun with it. Same with the guys. But taking a business approach and looking at things.
Yeah.
Much needed and deserved rest tonight for some absolute workhorses.
Yeah, just to name a few. Reese Longstaff, Joe Keto, Tyler Nelson. Those guys definitely need to take it easy. Seth Gurgley, he's not going to be playing the field. So you need to be fun. You need to have fun, but you can't be stupid in such a way where you give yourselves, an opportunity to get hurt. So the guys that are every day are going to be on the bench, but it's good to give guys, that don't play every day an opportunity to maybe play a position that they don't usually play, aka Carson Clark hitting third and playing center field. So definitely a time to have fun, but you want to let all the laughs out before everything gets really serious in a few days when the playoffs come around. So definitely going to have a good time tonight.
We talked last night about the opportunity this weekend against the Grand Lake Mariners to put together a little mini win streak of 3 games going into the playoffs. Tonight would be that third game. It will definitely be a good one. Monarchs Mariners coming up in just a few minutes. First pitch when we come back. First pitch in Adrian, Michigan, just moments away. With Alex Maxwell, I'm Jake Gorwitz on the call for tonight's Michigan Monarchs game, playing host to the visiting Grand Lake Mariners in this season's finale, for the regular season, that is, before the playoffs start for this Monarch squad, Alex.
Oh, yeah. This is a good opportunity for the Monarchs to have some fun, get it out of the way, and get serious in the playoffs. And they've deserved every ounce of success they've had this season, Jake. Number 1 in the division and number 1 in the league. Best home record in the league. And my goodness, this team has been, on the field and off the field, I'd say the best team.
A home record of 14-3 with a chance to make it 15-3 heading into the postseason with, mind you, home field advantage. What a luxury.
Oh, definitely. It's a big deal of comfort, you know, when you have high-pressure situations like that. You want everything to go your way, even the little things such as playing at home as much as you can or having good weather, you know, getting a good meal. All those little things might sound a little obsolete or a little funky, but they're important. And you want to be as comfortable as you can, and the Monarchs have deserved that home field advantage. And with that advantage, you got to take advantage of it.
All it takes is 4 wins in the playoffs between the first round against the Lima Locos and a potential championship matchup against the South Division. Kane Elmy, the starter for the Monarchs tonight, facing Elliott Crewson to start off tonight's ball game.
Elmy having a really good season so far, 3-0 with a 3.94 ERA, nearly 30 innings pitched.
First pitch of the ball game comes at 7:08, just a few minutes later than normal. Goes for a called strike. Swung on, driven to right field. And Sandon Cuthrell makes the grab for the first out of tonight's ball game.
One of the things I really like about Elmy is his strikeout to walk ratio. 22 strikeouts and only 5 walks. And you see that there, starting off the count early, throwing strikes, getting ahead in the count. Already 1 up, 1 down. That's an excellent start from Kane. He's really efficient. So let's see if he can continue that as we go forth.
Donnie Goods steps in now. We saw him on the mound last night. Came in relief of Justin Boltmeyer. Swings and misses. Actually, a foul tip into the glove of Patrick Illich to start his at-bat. Goods went 2 innings on the bump, giving up 2 hits, no runs. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts to finish up last night's contest. Ball outside makes the count 2-1. Alex, Kane Elmy is going to be a crucial arm for this Monarchs team. Without a doubt, we'll see him in the playoffs. And I already know a big game. I would guess either game 2 or game 3.
I'd say probably game 2, depending on how the first game really goes.
Exactly.
That's a big depending factor. But he's been a terrific arm so far in the year. And that's skied out to left field. That's going to be tough this early part of the game, Jake. Left field is notorious for being brutal, right underneath the sun. You see Ian Francis out there on left. He's got the sunglasses on his hat. He might have to make an adjustment and put those things on.
The defensive alignment is most definitely the biggest change of tonight's ball game. Ian Francis in left, Carson Caudill in center, Sandon Cuthrell in right. That's an outfield that we have never seen before, folks.
Right. And not only that, but Caudill is hitting in the
3-hole.
Yeah, so a little bit of a luxury on that one.
So Donnie Goods will take first base after the walk from Kane Elmy, but we normally see Ian Francis behind the dish. Carson Caudill is primarily a pitcher, and Sandon Cuthrell plays mainly second base. We saw him at third last night. So a great opportunity here, regular season finale, for some guys to get reps at different spots and become familiar, because you never know where you're going to be thrown into come playoffs.
Right. It's all about experience. Summer ball is all about getting comfortable.
Goods on the way. Pump fake from Illich. There will be no throw down.
It's a nice little delayed steal there from Goods. A good secondary caught the defense off guard, and now look at that. 1 out, man in scoring position with one of your better hitters up in the lineup.
That's Adam Ebling, batting .308 on the season. That's ripped into right center field. It'll get down. Goods on his way to third. Rounding and coming home, and we have our first run of tonight's ball game.
It's a nice shot there from Ebling. Not a bad pitch, though, from Kane Elmy. That pitch was up and in, and Ebling did a good job of kind of sawing it off into right center field. And a good job from Goods to start off and be smart with a walk. And then how about that, 1-0? And just because you have defensive alignments doesn't make you – there's no excuses for any losses. You know, the Monarchs got to play to win at all costs.
Momentum is the biggest thing this time of year.
Yeah.
Being the team that is hot at the right time, going into the games that matter most.
It's definitely a part of it. It's huge. Can't stress it enough.
Fastball high evens the count 1-1 to Luke Vonderhaar, the Mariners' first baseman. Kane Elmy finds the strike zone, count 1-2 with 1 out. An RBI single from Adam Ebling brought home Donnie Goods after he swiped second base.
I tell you, Jake, this is an important inning for Kane Elmy because we're only going to see him probably go 1, maybe 2 tops. So before you get into the playoffs, you'd like to see you give them momentum. Do the best you can and spring into the playoff time.
And we'll see how it goes tonight. Obviously, a whole lot of baseball ahead of us on this Saturday evening, Alex. But credit to the coaching staff for trying to find that balance between having fun, getting the guys loose, but also having a business-like mentality and continuing that win streak going into the Lima series.
Right, because pitching is all about feel and confidence. So if Kane can get a few more innings in before the playoffs start, that's crucial.
Vonderhaar fouls that pitch back into the netting. Count full now. Fouled again. The at-bat is extended. Alex, Kane Elmy has a fastball, curveball, and changeup to his repertoire. What have you been seeing so far?
Well, he likes to use his off-speed as much as he can and try to mix up that with his heating fastball. There you go, the off-speed right there.
Just poked into right field, had Camden Coleman going the opposite way.
That's an unlucky play there. But
A
just
tough
as we were
break.
talking, he did throw that off-speed. His fastball, I'd say, is his best pitch, but he's trying to work on his curveball to go along with it, because if you can mix that up, that really messes up the timing of any hitter. And that was a good pitch there. It was just an unlucky situation. But this is really where you need to lock up here and record it out before things get out of hand. Looks like, yep, that hit. Stir it.
So the bases are
no.
loaded.
Looks like Illich is down.
Maybe the baseball ricocheted off the turf.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to speculate.
It definitely deflected off of Sterrett. It took a little deflection or ricochet, and Patrick is feeling it. Looks like it could have got him in the groin area. That's where it looks to be.
So he gives a thumbs up. Luckily, Illich will stay in this game. Gives a thumbs up to the home plate umpire. Tonight's officials are Bill Harbert and Mark Snyder. They were here last night. Plenty familiar with these two sides.
Don't look now, Jake. Bases loaded, only one down. Let's focus up here and get out of this inning.
Bases are loaded for Jacob Danneman, batting .263 on the year, 4 RBIs. It has a chance for a few more to end his season just how he would like.
And if you're the Mariners, this is a great chance to go out on a bang, right? They have absolutely nothing to lose. So the Monarchs are loose and having fun. So are the Mariners. And look at bases loaded, 1 out, a chance to add more runs.
Fastball locates the zone. Count 2-1, only 1 out. Goods already crossed home plate to make the game 1-0. And back-to-back singles from Ebling and Vonderhaar, plus a hit by pitch to Benjamin Starrett, have the bases loaded. I think that pitch might have hit Danneman.
It did. I saw a deflection. I was waiting on the umpire's call. But from our viewpoint, Jake, it looked like there was a little bit of a ricochet. And just like that, 2-0 Mariners, just only 1 down, still bases loaded.
Designated hitter number 5, Carson Clark.
And you always want to limit the damage in the first inning because that really dictates the way a game can go.
Illich glides to his right to keep that pitch in front of him. So now it's Carson Clark, the DH for Grand Lake, with the bases loaded. Still 1 out. Mariners lead 2-0.
Oh, it looks like it grazed Clark here. I believe that's 3.
Straight.
Yeah. Yep.
And you really hate to see that because, I mean, there are pitches that are missing the zone but barely just getting a piece of the batter.
Yeah, it's definitely not something. We talked about it last night, Jake, how a game changes when a pitcher can't really find the zone and can't really find his rhythm. 3-0. Everyone's on their feet right now, on their heels, I should say. And the momentum is clearly in the Mariners' favor, and there's really nothing you can do if you're the Monarchs.
Count 0-2 on Brandon Green. A couple fastballs from Kane Elmy have found the zone. It's hit up the middle. Fitzharris will take it himself and skies it over Hayden Yatzak out of play.
That's a tough play there for Fitzharris. You'd like to see him set his feet and collect himself. Don't throw on the run like a quarterback. Get your feet pointed in the right direction and put it at Yatzak's chest over there at first. Elmy did his job there, throwing him the ground ball. But Fitzharris has to collect himself there.
Shortstop number 1, Andrew Nicolak.
So Brandon Green advances to second. 2 more runs will come in. Benjamin Starrett and Jacob Danneman. And just like that, it's a 5-0 ball game in the top of the first.
Jake, I don't think we've said that in a Monarchs game this year. This is not...
At least not against the Monarchs.
Right. This is not familiar territory for the Monarchs, but the game is young. And a quick little note, the umpire did say that the zone was going to be a little bit generous tonight.
Kane Elmy steps off, takes another look at Brandon Green over there at second. It's Andrew Nicoluk in the batter's box now. Count 1-1. Nicoluk led off for the Mariners last night. In that second leadoff role tonight.
Yep. It's interesting that 1 and 9 really aren't that different in their role. You know, they're both asked to be a leadoff hitter.
All you have to do is ask Reese Longstaff. He was in the 9 spot for the longest time this Monarchs season and found a true home in the more formal leadoff position and hasn't looked back.
No.
Full count after the fastball in the zone. Nicoluk drew a couple walks, struck out a few times, grounded out to Joe Quito at short last night. That's lifted into right field. Drops right in front of Sandon Cuthrell. Thought we might have a play at the plate, but we will not. Another run scores for Grand Lake. It's now 6-0.
It's a good piece of hitting there from Grand Lake, but the Monarchs really need to wake up defensively. That was a routine fly ball to right field, and that easily could have got the runner at home, but they're just not thinking ahead at the moment.
Number 36, Elliott Crewson.
And that's the temptation you have when you're winning so all the time. You can kind of put your feet up, and it's 6-0, Jake.
It's 6-0 and only a few hits for Grand Lake. The hit department and the run department definitely are not representative of each other. 6 runs on only 3 hits. There's been as many hit batters, hit by pitches, as many as hits.
Right. And you can just see they're not thinking ahead at the moment. They're not themselves in a way. They do a great job on a nightly basis of thinking ahead, being aware of situations. But I understand this is a unique game. Guys are in different positions. I'm not going to hate on them at all. This is an excellent team regardless of tonight.
The off-speed just misses the outer edge of the plate. We're back to the top of the Mariners lineup already in the top of the first. It's Elliott Crewson. He lined out to Cuthrell and right. That's the only out of this game. Actually, we did have that fielder's choice. So Crewson strikes out. He's 0 for 2 on the night. We go to the bottom of the first. Monarchs in a 6-0 hole, Alex. Have not seen that before.
No, and it's interesting to see how that transpired. 3 hits and 3 guys hit by pitches. That's really the big factor there. Not only that, but throw an error in there. So not the prettiest inning at all. But hey, the Monarchs have some of the best bats in the league. They've put up 6 runs, no problem. They've put up 10 runs in an inning once. So anything that you can do, let's see if the Monarchs can do better. But definitely not the ordinary start we've seen. Usually the Monarchs are locked down defensively, and they're mentally engaged, but right now it looks to be a little bit, distracted, but hey, it's early.
Well, we talked about early in the top of the first. It seems like a while ago, Alex, but we were discussing the coaching staff trying to find that balance between staying loose, having fun tonight, and also finishing the regular season on a win and going into the playoffs with a 3-game win streak.
Yeah.
So far, the balance has shifted one way, but I would argue that it's still the right choice.
Oh, yeah. I'd say this is the right thing to do. One game isn't going to kill your momentum. It's more about getting guys rest. It's really about reloading and really about focusing on what matters at this point. This game doesn't really matter. Let's be honest. It's a game. We're worried about the playoffs. We're worried about winning it all at this point. And that's the mentality. So you have to formulate your team around your goals. So your goal right now is to win the league, not really beat the Mariners. It's to take home the hardware.
I was just about to say, the bottom line is that Joe Keto, Reese Longstaff, Seth Gurgley, Tyler Nelson, Sam Bush are all getting rest. They'll all be in the playoff lineup. There's no question regarding their status. So bottom line, end of story, they're getting some extra rest tonight.
Yeah, think of it like a little analogy. Aaron Rodgers in Week 17, he usually doesn't play so he can get rest and head into the playoffs well-rested and strong. And he always, is always in the playoffs. So
Leading off the bottom of the first
no worries
inning,
here.
the Monarchs, shortstop number 4.
Maybe if Aiden Hutchinson has something to say about that, then we might not see Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs. Who knows? Coming up on football season.
Yeah,
I'm fired up for that.
as am I.
So the Monarchs up to the batter's box for the first time. They're facing Tucker Hagen. Jack Fitzharris sends a dribbler to the left side. A nice play by Ebling to charge that and retire the leadoff man.
Really nice play there from Ebling. What you have to do on the turf is to come up and get it before it gets you. Not an easy play to throw that over to first. And speaking of first, we got Sam Bush as the first base coach.
Now batting first baseman number 30.
So that kind of shows you the mentality, the vibes where they're at right now.
And he's already giving some signs.
He's giving
That's
signs.
unbelievable.
Just a little touch on the wrist.
Hayden Yatsek knows exactly what that
I think that
means.
means swing.
I think it means hit a bomb.
Yeah, I think that's code. And Peter Riley over there at third. We've seen Coach Riley at the corner, so that's not strange.
He's doing it all.
Yeah, a man of many hats.
The Monarchs did see Tucker Hagen last night, but it wasn't on the bump. He was the Mariners' second baseman. So another two-way player, but he has made 4 appearances on the mound already this season. 3 1/3 innings pitched. ERA just above 5. Count 1-2 on Hayden Yatsek, moving up a few spots in the order. Fastball low evens the count.
And if you're Yatzak, you have the green light. Grip it and rip it tonight. Don't worry about being conservative. Let it fly.
Off speed misses in full count. So it's Fitzharris, Yatzak, then Carson Caudill in the 3-hole tonight.
The usual 1, 2, 3.
That's a drawn walk by Hayden Yatsek, and the Monarchs have their first base runner of tonight.
The Monarchs are easily capable of putting up 6 runs and tying this game up. But
And you don't have to get it all back at once.
Oh, no. Chip away. Good to see Caudill here in the lineup. He's got a good swing. We've seen it this year in batting practice. He's definitely a natural.
That's a hot shot to the left side. Deflects off the glove of Adam Ebling. From first to third goes Hayden Yatsek. The throw just escapes Ebling. Carson Caudill has himself a double.
Welcome to the 3-hole Carson. My gosh, that was an absolute smoke. Looks pretty normal over there in the 3-hole. That had no shot. Ebling had no shot at that. And a good call from Coach Riley over there at third to send Yatsek all the way from first to third. And now the Monarchs are threatening. Just like that, men in scoring position. A hot shot from Carson Caudill. Nice job.
So now we see Camden Coleman. A big hack there. Count 0-1.
I was just about to say, Jake, you're going to see a lot of big hats today. A lot of guys are trying to put one over. The wind's blowing out. And the ball is going to travel.
85 degrees here. Feels like 88 in Adrian. Thunderstorms potentially in the area later tonight. Hopefully we don't see those during game time. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Fooled Coleman with the off speed.
It's a good pitch there from Hagen. Coleman was sitting fastball, and Hagen threw him a really nice curveball in the
Now
dirt.
batting third baseman number 23.
But you'd like to see the Monarchs get something this inning. They've had some success, especially with Caudill's double. So let's see if Henry Brown can scrape together a little two-out rally.
Swings and misses at the first offering from Tucker Hagen. He has the off speed really working so far.
Oh, he does. That was an excellent cutter. It seems like we're going to see a lot of off speed from Hagen tonight. A lot of guys like to stick to their fastball, but some guys like Hagen are all junk. Cutter, slider, curveball, changeup. We've really not really seen a fastball tonight. Seldom.
Goes back to the cutter. Count 1-2. 2 outs. Yatsek on third. Caudill on second. We'll have to get used to saying that. Only 3 at-bats this season for Carson Caudill. Had an RBI single in the 15-0 win over Jetbox. Ground ball to the shortstop, Nicoluk. Throw over to Vonderhaar at first. Sits down Henry Brown. And the Monarchs leave 2 men in scoring position. That was one of the themes from last night. It was all good, though, because the Narcs got the win. But all these little things, despite having fun, Alex, you would like to see some execution and this team to capitalize going into the postseason.
You sure would. Little things like that always find a way to add up. But you got to give credit to Carson there for coming into the 3-hole and hitting a shot down the left side of the line for a double. But like you said, you can't leave guys stranded because it will hurt you in some ways.
So as expected, Kane Elmy only goes 1 inning. Into the game is Keaton Ballard now. Perhaps one of the last
Now in the game to pitch for the Monarchs,
pitcher onlys
number 34,
that we'll see.
Keaton Ballard.
Yeah, we're expecting to see Seth Gurgley and some other arms as well that don't usually pitch.
All in an effort to keep names like Ricky Kidd, Jack Elkins, who's been heating up as of late. All an effort to keep those guys warm, just like Longstaff and Keto. It's 2-3-4 for Grand Lake. Kane Elmy faced 10 hitters in the top of the first, 6-0 in the second, and it's Donnie Goods, Adam Ebling, and Luke Vonderhaar.
Good throw there from Illich. One of the best things about his game is his arm and his accuracy.
Leading off the top of the second inning for the Mariners, center fielder number 25, Donnie Goods.
Last night's reliever for the Mariners will be the first batter to see Keaton Ballard. Fastball fired into the zone.
Ooh, nice pitch there. You're going to see a lot of off speed from Keaton. And even his fastball likes to move as well, run out of the zone. Especially on the lefty, as you see Illich set outside. Just like that. A lot of movement on that fastball. Tough to read. And it's coming in at a weird angle as well. So a nice shot, nice start so far from Keaton. And that's what you needed, Jake.
So far, we've only seen Ballard throw strikes. That one to Adam Ebling. Singled and scored back in the first. The swing and miss stuff is already there. Keaton Ballard wasting no time.
Yep, back-to-back changeups. So you see him consistently mixing up his pitches and setting up outside. That's what you need to do if you're a pitcher. Set up a rhythm. Set up a part of the zone. Stick to your guns. Really establish a game plan. And really that's the key for success on the bump.
Ebling just extends the bat. Gets a piece of it to keep his at-bat alive. Count 0-2. Ebling, a rising redshirt freshman at Tulane University. Ebling really featuring the entire map. He's from St. Louis, Missouri, playing his ball for the Grand Lake Mariners in the summer and goes to Tulane.
Yep. 3 different states.
Swing and a miss. 2 straight strikeouts for Keaton Ballard.
Credit that to Ballard mixing up the eye level of his pitches. He likes to go outside. And then on that one, he went high and in. Mixing up his pitches as well. Fastball, curveball, changeup, cutter. So an excellent start so far from Ballard, and no surprise that we got 2 up, 2 down.
That pitch had Vonderhaar guessing. Count 0-1, 2 outs. Top of the second, Monarchs down 6. That's flied, shallow right field. Going back is Camden Coleman to make the grab. 3 up, 3 down. Keaton Ballard trying to limit the damage and keep his team and their deficit to a minimal. To the bottom of the second we go. Alex, it's Cuthbert Francis Overitis. We've got 3 straight catchers at the bottom of the order when you add Illich into the equation. The bats got to get going here.
They got to get hot, and they got to get hot sooner rather than later. You said it, Jake, best. You don't have to get them back all at once, but you don't want to postpone that hit parade until you get to the 7th or the 8th when it's too little too late. But the Monarchs need to really worry about putting together good at-bats, right? This game doesn't mean anything. They're already home field advantage. They're already clinched the North. This game really doesn't matter, but you'd like to see them almost like a sparring session, a practice round. You want to implement your tools and have that momentum of the quality of at-bats you have. Use that now so that you can get sharp when it counts. So you really have to treat this almost like a scrimmage at this point. I know that sounds kind of weird, but you want to – it's great to win, yes, but at this point, play good baseball. Keep your head in the game.
The end goal is definitely in sight. That's for sure. I'm a big proponent of momentum, though, and not becoming complacent. I don't think that there's any room for that. I'm all for having fun, but let's have fun within reason, I would say.
I think that I agree with that mentality, Jake, as well. But now that you're down 6-0, all you can really ask for is to put your best foot forward. Put together good quality at-bats, throw strikes, play clean baseball going forward. Erase the first inning, it doesn't matter. The game starts now in the Monarchs' minds.
Tucker Hagen still in the ball game for Grand Lake. Bouncing pitch gets away from Green.
Hagen has a funky arm slot as well, which is another reason why his off-speed is so difficult to manage.
Grounder left side. Clean play by Nikoluk. 1 down in the bottom of the second.
That's his specialty. He's a ground ball pitcher. Really good at
Now batting
getting
left
soft
fielder
contact.
8, Ian Francis.
Ian Francis up to bat now. He'll begin the trio of Monarchs catchers in the game. I should say primarily catchers. Ian Francis obviously in left tonight. Overitis DHing. And it's Illich behind the dish. First time we've seen all three of them in the game at once. Two straight strikes against Francis. Pulled to the left side, and a long throw over by Ebling for the second out.
That's the second play we've seen from Ebling that has been impressive. That play was to his
Now batting
backhand,
left
and he
fielder
made a
number
strong
25,
throw across the
Tyler
diamond.
Overitis.
That's something that coaches really love, is the across the diamond velo, and Ebling definitely has that. Another good play from him at third.
And the composure to set your feet, know that you have enough time to set yourself, and then fire it over.
Yeah. Really shows you that he trusts his arm. And you can have that composure, Jake, if you have the arm strength to go along with it. That's why you see guys like Arenado and Machado at third. Their arms are just so strong.
Count 1-1 to Tyler Overitis. Make that 2-1 after the fastball down low. 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Monarchs still trail by 6 in the regular season finale.
It looks like Hagan and Green might not be on the same page. The catcher-pitcher duo tonight. That's 2 or 3 balls in a row that have skipped away. It'll be interesting to see how that affects it going forward.
Overitis draws a walk on 5 pitches. And up comes Patrick Illich. This bat has some pop. We've seen it as of late, a home run a few games ago on the road. We saw some dingers in BP pregame today.
Yep, he's definitely got the swing for it as well. He likes to go high on that launch angle. So if you can connect with it, it's going to go over the wall, no problem.
He cranks that pitch, but it's yanked a little too far into foul territory down the left field line. Illich has the best OPS out of the 3 catchers, 6.35. Fastball outside, misses. Count 2-1 on Illich. It's Illich then top. Fitzharris in the leadoff position tonight. Dribbler just over the head of Hagan. Charging is Nikoluk. And fires a dart over to first for the 3rd out. So sorry to cut you off, Alex. 4 batters up in the bottom of the 2nd for the Monarchs. Overitis left on first base. To the top of the 3rd we go, 6-0.
Still 6-0, Jake. A few good at-bats so far from the Monarchs. Only one hit, though, to go along with it. Carson Clark, the guy that rarely hits in the lineup, hitting third tonight with the lone hit. Never thought we would say that. But a good shot nonetheless. And like I said, Jake, at this point, you don't really want to focus too much on getting all the runs back. More importantly, get your confidence, get your rhythm back. Really put together quality at-bats and play solid baseball. That's really all you can ask for.
Confidence is the key going into the postseason.
And you can't put all of your eggs in the basket if you don't go 4 for 4 tonight, right? If you go 0 for 4 or lose like this game, it continues 6-0. You can't put all of your faith in that, right? This game, you kind of have to commit for it not meaning all that much, right? Even if it goes your way, you can't ride this wave entirely. You can never, ever, ever take put all your eggs in one basket on a daily basis. It's got to be, live in the moment type thing.
And one thing this team doesn't lack, we've seen it all season, is the confidence and that swagger. And something that we often talk about off air, Alex, is just how much time this team spends with each other off the field. You always hear good teams spend time together in a non-baseball environment. A team dinner, for example, the other night to celebrate the North Division regular season championship.
Yeah.
Clinching that. Just a simple bonfire, hanging out with the guys on an off day.
Yeah, those things add up in little ways, whether it be on the field or off the field, and it's important. And it's important to know that summer ball really is about you and getting better, but it's good if you can have a team to go along with it, and a team that wins and a team that contends for championships, because that's going to make you get better as well. Not just getting good stats, but learning how to be a good teammate is equally as important.
Keaton Ballard comes in for a second inning of work, facing Benjamin Starrett in the top of the third. Count 1-1. Monarchs in a hole early, but we're so glad you can join us on this Saturday evening. Thanks so much for spending it with us here at the ballpark. With Alex Maxwell, I'm Jake Gorwitz, bringing you the action for this regular season finale for the Monarchs and the Grand Lake Mariners. The Mariners' season ends tonight, but as you might have picked up on throughout the broadcast, the Monarchs still have a ways to go. A throw from Fitzharris over to Yatzak pulls him off the bag. I think Starrett would have beat it out anyways, though, and Grand Lake has a runner on.
Yep. Tough play there from Fitzharris as he was running to his left side. Not an easy play to make, but like you said, Jake, I think Starrett would have beat it out. That's why being fast is so crucial nowadays in the game.
Jacob Danneman swings and misses at the first delivery from Keaton Ballard. Danneman has 13 stolen bases this summer season. Only one time was he caught stealing. Definitely a threat if he reaches. Here's the 1-2.
Starrett did a good job of having another delayed steal and swiping second, no problem. That's something the Monarchs need to work on, is limiting the amount of delayed steals that have been done on them. Really, it's low-key kind of been an issue this year.
What's the best way to stop that?
Well, you got to talk, and you have to be aware as a catcher. You can't ever lose your focus on that runner. And I think a pitcher really has a lot of the blame as well. You got to minimize that. You got to have a slide step. You got to look at the runner. You can't just let your catcher be left out to dry, right? I'm not going to blame the catcher all the way because it's a team.
Count 2-2 after the foul ball by Danneman. Fastball well hit into left field. Ian Francis coming up throwing. Cut off by Henry Brown, and another run will score for the Mariners.
See, that's one there where Henry Brown has to let that go through. That's the second time tonight the Monarchs have cut it off, and they could have got him out at home. That's one there. You got to talk, Jake. You got to say, let it go, let it go, let it go. Because that had a real shot at home. That was a good throw from Ian Francis in left field. So just little things like that.
Fastball high and away begins Carson Clark's at-bat. Starrett went from first to home. On second home, actually, after the stolen base. And it's now Jacob Danneman at first after the RBI base knock. Right side, Yatsek throw to second. Relay. We will have no relay. Monarchs get the lead runner.
Good play there from Yatsek. That's a good definition right there of thinking ahead before the ball is hit to you. And good execution there from Fitzharris to get to the bag. So that's what I'm talking about right there, Jake. Don't lose sight of plays like that. Don't worry so much about the 7-0. Worry about making the right play every play.
Diving effort by Fitzharris. The flip over. Got him. It was a hot shot right up the middle. Took a bounce off the mound, maybe slowed the ball's momentum a little bit and allowed Fitzharris enough time to range to his left. And the diving effort retires Carson Clark.
Definitely a highlight reel play there from Fitzharris. And if you're Keaton Ballard, you got to love that right there. Excellent effort. That ball was right over second base. Not an easy play by any means. And how about that flip to get it out of his glove, too? Fitzharris has shown many glimpses this year of being a solid infielder.
We typically see him at second base. Tonight at short. Once again, all about reps, experience.
Being familiar with yourself in various situations is crucial here.
So 2 outs, top of the third. 7-0 Grand Lake leads. The 0-1 to Nicoluk. Jammed him into foul territory. Yatsek camped under it for the third out. The Mariners tack on one more run. Monarchs still have plenty of work to do, Alex, as we go to the bottom of the third.
Yep, you got to put together more quality at-bats through the innings. We've seen more of them, but we haven't seen a run yet. Only one hit still. And that's our predominantly pitcher-only Carson Caudill, hitting a double down the left side of the line. I'd like to see the aggressiveness, the confidence, an approach, better plate discipline, right? We've seen some guys swing out of their shoes on the few. Let's find some more discipline here.
This is the time to try out anything that you may have not had the opportunity to try in previous regular season games. See what works, see what doesn't work, both on an individual level and a team level.
Yeah.
The latter obviously up to the coaching staff, but what are some things for individuals in the batter's box that you can try out and mix and match?
Well, swinging at the first pitch. A lot of guys like to take till you get a strike. If it's there, take a hack at it. And another thing, swing for home runs. I know that kind of sounds bad, but you have 3 strikes, right? There's mathematics behind it. The Oakland A's are huge on it. You want to swing for a home run at least once in your at-bat. I know that sounds really counterintuitive to a lot of old school guys, but it's kind of the way the game is going nowadays. Have an approach. Don't try to pull your head on it, but your approach has to be to hit it hard and to hit it far, right? Instead of trying to swing as hard as you can, have a plan of how you want to do it. So give it a try. Because like you said, Jake, now's the time. Before things get serious in the playoffs and before things get serious back at the schools in the fall, this is it. And we know Ben Kamenowski is a very chill coach, but also a guy that likes to be serious and win. So he's got a great combo there. So
A player's coach.
yeah, I'd say that's Coach K, as they call him.
That's a pretty good nickname. I can think of another Coach K.
Really? I don't know who that is. No, I'm kidding. There's only one Coach K around here, Jake. Just remember that.
Yeah, this is the real Coach K. Back to the top of the Monarchs lineup. A new pitcher for Grand Lake. Replacing Tucker Hagan is Gabriel Torres. We're seeing a ton of two-way players. Torres DH'd last night for the Mariners. Had a pair of singles in the 4th and the 6th last night. Count 1-2 after the strike to Jack Fitzharris. Alex, we talk about the Monarchs ending the regular season strong, but for Grand Lake, this is obviously the end of their road. As Fitzharris pops it up into shallow left field. Nikoluk will make the catch. But all of these Mariners players want to end their season on a high note just as much.
Absolutely. They have nothing to lose. Literally nothing to lose. So we talk about trying things on the Monarch side of things. Let it rip if you're the Mariners. Leave nothing out there, right? And you're up 7-0, so you really have 0 things to lose.
They may not have anything to lose from a team standpoint, but definitely going into fall ball, going into the next college season, you'd like to take something with you from the summer season.
Yeah. Last chance to pad the stats as well.
Yatzak with a low fly out to right field. 2 quick outs in the bottom of the 3rd.
Here we go, Jake. The only hit of the game for the Monarchs. Carson Caudill. The pitcher only. 99% of the time. Now batting in the 3-hole. Had a good swing, too.
Takes a first pitch strike. What do you think about the arm sleeve on the right arm?
Yeah.
You don't see that very often. A light blue kind of gradient look to it. Almost a turquoise going into, what is that, a royal blue? I don't have a color wheel in front of me or anything.
Well, as a pitcher, he can't really use it on the mound, so he's trying to maximize his swag opportunities in the box.
Fastball upstairs makes the count 2-1 on Caudill. Had that double in his first at-bat. 2 for 3 offensively this season. Pretty good. Torres sets just above the belt. Here's the delivery. A swing and miss sends Carson Caudill back to the dugout. We're headed to the top of the fourth, 7-0. Grand Lake still leads. We'll see who comes back to the bump for the Monarchs. It's looking like Keaton Ballard. He'll continue his night when we come back. Jake Gorowitz and Alex Maxwell back with you for top of the fourth action here on the campus of Siena Heights University. Last game of the regular season for both sides. The Monarchs will hit the ground running next Tuesday, hosting the Lima Locos to begin the first round of the GLSEL playoffs. And the Mariners with the last at-bats of their season this evening. Keaton Ballard still on the bump for the home team. Count 1-1 to Elliott Crewson. I think we'll see Seth Gurgley come in to pitch next for the Monarchs, whenever that may be. Infield fly. Camden Coleman under it for the first out.
Good to see Camden Coleman back out there at second. That's definitely a position that he could be playing in the future. So it's good to maximize the reps now. Jake, we always talk about getting more familiar and gaining experience.
We view Coleman mainly as a corners infielder, but getting some time at second base tonight and last night. Certainly a position that he's been working on in practice. And a position that head coach Ben Kamenowski knows Camden is capable of playing from their time at Frontier Community College. Count 1-2 on Donnie Goods. Count even, 2-2. Here's the pitch from Ballard. Fastball outside, full count.
Well, here we go. If you're Keaton Ballard, this is a big out here. And walks have been the story of tonight's game for the Monarchs on the mound. Usually Elmy and Ballard are two of the more efficient guys, but we just haven't seen it tonight. And in baseball, it's a weird game. Sometimes even you just don't have it. Plain and simple.
I think if you widen our scope, it's just been the freebies.
Yeah.
The story of tonight's game between 3 consecutive hit-by pitches, a couple walks here and there.
2 errors doesn't help either.
Left side, 6-4-3, double play. Ends the top of the 4th. That'll probably be it for Keaton Ballard, but way to go out strong.
Yep, that's his bread and butter right there. A ground ball pitcher and a nice twist up the middle from the middle infield. Fitzharris and Coleman over to Hayden Yatzak. And that's what you like to see. Clean baseball. Doing the little things right. Because the Monarchs are skilled enough to almost rely on their talent. And I know that's not what you want, but they're good enough to kind of go by that on that alone.
I think we might be seeing Sam Bush come out for another inning as a first or third base coach.
It's a good experience for Bush as well. You know, just going forward, you never know. As a collegiate player, a lot of guys get their foot in the door from the coaching perspective. So kind of